So, how much exercise do you get on average per week?
Oh, it's a beautiful question. Question for Sasha, I think.
Because, Martin, now I'm on my program on a daily workout. So I do it on a daily basis. So that's quite a lot for me, but it isn't a normal month. So I would usually, on average, I prefer to have once or 3 per week.
Okay.
Yeah, well, should say about that like it's nothing to do about, but I think that like a regular person would say that she's obsessed with sport.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
Well, and she's doing it like kind of on a public. I mean that everybody on her Instagram sees that she's regularly doing her exercise, and that's her kind of a way to engage people in doing more sports. Well, I'm kind of obsessed too because I'm running like at least 3 kilometers every other day. Like,
oh, very good.
Yeah, so I am kind of obsessed with sport too, but I'm not doing it like on public. Nobody knows about that, apart from my close friends. Yeah, but I've heard a lot of stories from Sasha. Then people on Instagram sending her messages like, "Stop doing that! You're doing it too much."
They're making her feel bad.
These usually makes them feel bad that they're doing nothing at all.
Oh, she's making them feel bad. Yes.
Yeah. But they don't know that this is like this is exactly the reason why she is posting that much things on the Instagram to provoke them to think about that. That's she's not kind of well, we've been watching a nice series called Physical, I think, and it's about 60s in California, and that time when the aerobics, women aerobics started with these videotapes. Then you can just start a videotape at home and do it on your own, because everyone was embarrassed to
go. Was it Jane Fonda or someone like that? Some famous person released a home exercise video, and it started this trend of like doing aerobic exercise.
Yeah, kind of. The idea is that people are usually embarrassed to go to public gyms just because they think they're ugly or that kind of things, and to overcome that thing, to feel less embarrassed about doing exercise, they've came up with a beautiful idea. Why not having a tape and doing it at home? Nobody sees this. You can do it whenever time you want, and that's a great thing, actually.
Yeah, as long as you do it, that's the most important thing. Yeah. Are you consistent with exercise?
Yeah.
Sasha?
Not too much. And not as much as I want, because there are some circumstances and, I don't know, health reasons. And so, yes, my answer is I'm not. But I try to stick to my pace, to my regime.
She's never happy. And that's good about her. She always wants to do more and more and more.
Okay, Nikolai, it isn't my session.
It's a kind of I've been when I was reading through the homework, the main idea I had was like, this is probably not the best topic for two of us, just because we are not those people who need to be convinced that sport is a good thing to do, and we need to dedicate some time to it.
We can say that I am preaching to the converted.
What does it mean?
What do you think it means if I say I'm preaching? What's preaching?
No idea. Preaching.
So preaching is when somebody stands at the front of a church and tells the followers what they should be doing. So, but if I'm preaching to the converted, it means you already believe what I'm telling you. So I don't need to preach to you because you've already converted.
Preaching to the converted, to those who already bought the idea.
Yes. So really, we need different people to try and convert than you two.
And the second, my second thought was that, and I've already shared with Sasha a little bit, that if I were the person who needs to be convinced, I wouldn't buy it based on this article.
Oh, okay, interesting. Tell me why.
Just because there's like everyone knows that eating vegetables and fruits is good. But they still want something with lots of sugar, salt. They want something fried, and just because that is tastier, when you're choosing between something that is like tastier and that is good for your health, usually I don't know why, but people are choosing like probably 10 years ago. If you were to say me like, what would you choose? Something like something tasty or something healthier? I would hear, would you like to eat something tasty or not tasty?
Yes.
Because healthier usually means some kind of restrictions. You need to, and it's much harder, and it's additional work to find a diet that's gonna be healthier and as much tasty as it was before. And that is like an additional something that you need to do in addition. And people don't like to bother about things they can't get easier, and that's the main problem, I think. So, like knowing that doing something is healthier for you is a bad motivator.
Yes, we all know what's healthy for us.
Yeah. It only works then something bad happens to you. If you are injured or your health is going down and you feel it, that might change your mind, and you might want to do more exercises. But before that, we all think that we're healthy enough. We're young. Another 10 years won't make any difference, and that's all. So
yeah, this kind of brings me to this question here. If exercise does more good than any pill on the market, so it says that in the article, that if there was a pill that did all the things exercise did, it would be the best medicine we've ever found. Why do so few people do it?
Because they need to do something.
Yeah, well, pills don't take any effort, do they?
Yeah. It's a nice thing.
So there's an article missing here. It's one question, which is beautiful.
It's Nikolai's mistake, so Nikolai.
It doesn't matter whose mistake it is.
I've got it. Yeah, article. F.
Yes. We can say once for one time, twice for 2 times, or 3
times.
Good.
May I ask you a question about per week? Which is the normal way to say in a week or per week?
Per week sounds better. It kind of sounds more formal. So per week means in every week or in a week. But I would say per week sounds better than saying in a week or in every week.
Oh, by the way, saying every other day, does it really mean like one time in 2 days?
Yes, so every other day is like every second day. So on Monday and then on Wednesday and then on Friday. Do we say on public?
Public. Just public.
What prepositions we use with public though? So, for example, you exercise.
In public.
Yes, good. If it's every day, it's a habit, and therefore we wouldn't use present continuous.
I run.
Good.
Run.
And again, this is your everyday habits.
Nikolai, you're not with us.
Oh dear. Oh, maybe Sasha, you can jump in.
I
don't do.
Oh,
I
Don't do it.
yes, good. So I think this was something like, I don't post that. Things are countable. So we use much with uncountable, like I don't have. Say that again, sorry?
These things.
But if we're going to keep it in this structure, that much would be with something uncountable. So, for example, I don't have that much money. I haven't drunk that much water today, but I don't post that. Instead of much.
Many.
Many. Oh.
And then Instagram is a name, so we can remove a word here.
On
Instagram. Or just I don't post that much on Instagram.
Yes. What's the meaning of provoke?
I was not sure about that word.
You're kind of in the right area. Yeah. So I'd say to inspire them.
Inspire, yeah.
So to provoke somebody is to get them to react negatively, normally with aggression.
Yeah.
But to inspire someone is to get them to react positively. So to provoke someone would be like saying, oh, come on, do you want to fight? Something like that. And to inspire someone would be like saying, come on, you can do it. You're the best, whatever. It's a specific decade. This would be the same with 50s, 70s, 80s, 90s. We need an article here. Yes.
The 60s.
The aerobics are kind of the possession of the women, let's say. So it's for the women.
Women's aerobic.
And here we would use the infinitive. Why not?
To have a tape.
Yes, the bare infinitive though. Sorry, that's my problem. Why not have a tape?
Have a tape.
Why not have a tape?
She always?
Wants.
Good. So I want, you want, she wants. And you are a specific to.
For
For-
there.
Good.
Who
So
need
here-
it?
Yes, it's an imaginary situation. So if I were one person in general, not a specific person.
Yeah, the tense should be the same.
Yep. So needed is good, but one person.
Ah, a person.
Yes, good.
It's a hypothetical situation.
When we have a direct object, so I'm directly giving you the information, instead of say, what
Tell
would
me.
be- Yes.
It's a common Russian mistake, I guess.
Yes. And if we were to use say, we could use a
Say
preposition.
to.
Yes. When we use as much, well, let me say this another way. When we use as, we don't need to use much. So use as adjective as. So for example, as tasty
Right.
as it is. As much would go with a noun. So for example, I don't have as much money as him.
Exercises.
Yeah, I don't do as much exercise. Yes.
Mhm.
What's the subject here in this sentence?
There things.
Yep, I would just say things in general. I actually can't remember now, but we can remove a word. If things is the subject, we don't need which word?
Which they can't.
Yeah, so we don't need they, because
Ah.
things is they, so we don't need to have two subjects there.
Mm.
Is Will Smith an it? We normally use it for
He
objects.
is.
Ah,
Yes.
yeah, he's.
And we would only use he if there's a comma there as well. So Will Smith, comma, he's a well-known actor. If there was no comma, we'd remove the subject altogether because we've got Will Smith. So we could say Will Smith is without it or he. And this sound here is a s. So we don't say basis, we say basis.
Basis.
Good. Have a go, Nikolai.
Basis.
Good.
Basis.
And this is that ah sound. So we don't say average, we say average.
Average.
Okay,
Good.
average.
Good. Be careful with when and then. So this one is w. When.
Yeah, and then.
Yes. Sasha?
When, then.
Good.
Don't ask me about months. Months.
And this one is pronounced as if it was still a French word because we took it from French. So we say regime, regime.
Regime.
Good.
Regime.
Is it about being consistent and having a timetable, or about like some kind of a government?
It can be both, yeah. So you can have a government regime, that's who's in charge of the country at the moment, And a regime as in like an exercise regime that you follow.
Regime.
So have a go at that word, Nikolai. Regime.
Regime.
Good.
Hate French words in English.
And everybody's favorite word? Work. Good. Sasha?
Work.
Good. Your favorite exercises? Sasha?
I'm not sure about the name of this exercise. Is it a common name or not? So I'm about burnouts. So workout as a burnout. So when you exercise a lot for 40 seconds, then 10 seconds a break.
Oh, okay.
10 seconds break and burnout.
Yeah, I think we call that high intensity interval training.
Interval,
Yeah.
high intensity interval training. Yep. Kind of.
Burnout sounds negative in English. That's the name we give for when you've been working too hard for too long and you get exhausted. It's kind of a synonym for depression in a way. So say you've been working very hard for months and months and months, and then you get sick and you just can't recover. That's burnout. So you probably don't want to do that when you're exercising.
Yeah, no, definitely.
How about you, Nikolai?
Well, good question. If I when I'm alone on my own, I prefer running. It can be indoors or outdoors, depending on the weather. But for me, it's like a good thing to refresh your mind at the same time as keeping your body like doing something. Exercising. But there's kind of a different doing something in a group is a pretty much different activity, still activity. But if you're talking about group activity, that would be some kind of a group game, probably football,
Cool.
basketball, even cycling in a room with group of people is fun.
Oh, in a velodrome. Like
Kind of. So for me, there's two types of different activities, on my own and in a group. And well, actually, I prefer more to be in a group and to exercise in a team, to do it something with some other people. Just because that is more engaging, more fun, basically.
Great. Yes. I think the most important thing with exercise is that you enjoy it. There's no point doing something you don't enjoy because you won't be able to sustain it.
Yeah. One girl asked us, both of us, probably a couple of years ago. The question was something like, how could she exercise consistently, keep up with doing something, and our answer was quite simple. Are you having fun? Are you enjoying what you're doing, what you do? If you are not, well, nothing keeps you there. Nothing. You will quit anyway. You need to find something that at least is fun for you.
Yes.
Well, there are so many different activities. Find something for you.
Yes, you need to have a carrot in front of you rather than a stick hitting you from behind. Yes.
Yeah, a stick is a nice way, like, to start.
To get started.
Yeah, to start. But to keep doing something on a regular basis, you need to enjoy it. That's the only way.
So why is it so hard to get out and do exercise for many of us?
There's so many other things that people think which people think are more important.
I believe it's about motivation. People lose their motivation, and it can be on a daily basis. And so bad weather, drizzle weather. Okay, I don't want to go there. It's going to be cold. But finally, when you choose this option, you will enjoy it. Finally,
Yes. You
but
always
you have
enjoy it
to push.
after you've completed it, don't you?
Exactly.
That's what I find. Very often I don't want to do it, but once I've completed it, I feel much better.
Yeah, it needs to be like a gradual thing, step by step. You shouldn't set goals that you can't achieve, like in a close perspective, and that's probably the main thing. You won't be a superstar in a month.
Yes.
Won't become a superstar in a month. You need to go step by step. Start, then enjoy it, and then maybe well, for different people it's different, by the way. Well, Sasha's, I may be wrong, but it looks like sometimes Sasha needs some kind of a goal for herself. Like, you know, for me, it's when I'm running every other day, I don't have a goal. I'm just running. That's like a regular routine to refresh my mind. I have no
like
goals.
You. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no goals in my mind. It's just a regular routine, and that's all. I'm enjoying it. Yeah. Sasha sometimes needs a goal. She wants to do it for some reason. She wants an improvement. Different people, different motivations.
Why are bad habits so much easier to form than good ones? And I put for most of us in brackets, because there are some people who seem to be able to form good habits easily. But I know for me, it's much easier to get into the habit of eating badly than eating well, for example, or sitting around rather than going out for a run. What do you think, Sasha?
You know, I ask these questions on a daily basis to myself and to others, only in my head. I can't ask people directly.
That's gonna be too rude.
But you know, it's the easiest way, and I believe due to psychology, people attend to choose the easiest way, and that's our not habit, our behavior, general behavior.
Instinct, isn't it? To look for the easiest.
Yeah. And then when you see the effect of this bad habit, you possibly we will like to change something, and then your willpower and all other things will be turned on. Probably. I have no answer. I have no a particular answer on this question.
I think it might be as simple as it's easier not to do something than to do something, and that's it. It's kind of you need to be like a doer in order to do something, and many people. Well, if there is no like no other motivation, but I don't know how to say it. Kind of, if you need to do something in order to survive, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you need something just to feel yourself better, and that means that you need to suffer for half an hour, that is kind
Where
of
is McDonald's?
Yeah,
there is,
in the short term, that's actually a
stupid thing. And there is simply like alternative. Why bothering? No, why?
Why bother?
Why bother?
Yes.
Why bother?
What do you enjoy more, watching sports or doing sport? So in the past, I used to enjoy watching sport much more, and nowadays I prefer doing sports. So I've changed over the years.
I've never compared these two activities for me, because I don't want to watch sport at all. It can be a famous football match. Match.
Mhm.
Match.
Yeah.
Match. And I will enjoy to watch it because probably I know some of them, but it isn't my habit. It isn't my common activity, and so doing sport is more preferable for me.
Yeah, it's a kind of, I would agree. It's kind of a completely different things. I used to watch sport with my father, but I haven't been watching much since we've started living like separately. He was the fan of watching sport in like in every possible area of sports. I probably am pretty similar with Sasha here. I enjoy only like extraordinary matches when very famous team is playing with another very famous team, and what made me stop watching football, for example, was that it was very difficult to predict whether the game gonna be like spectacles,
Yeah,
something
whether
that
it's
you will remember for years, or it's gonna be a very dull and not interesting game.
and very
And
often that happens too.
yeah, and like spending 2 hours for a game that doesn't give me any emotions is just a time waster.
Why do gym types sometimes have bad stereotypes attached to them? So, for example, the typical stereotype of someone who goes to the gym all the time might be that they're very stupid. But I'm not sure why that is, because doing exercise is actually an intelligent choice.
You mean these kind of people? These kind of people care only about their muscle,
Yeah.
about their appearance.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And
You know,
there's this idea, sometimes they're known as meatheads, like they don't have anything in their brain, they're just muscle kind of thing.
meatheads. Meatheads.
Meatheads?
Yeah. Which is a very negative stereotype, considering that exercise is an intelligent thing to do.
Wow. I remember from the past that people talk about such stereotypes in the past, really. For now, I would agree that it's quite a good choice, good alternative to go to the gym, because there can be a swimming pool, there can be other group sessions like cycling in a group or others, and so why?
It feels like we always need a binary, so we always need to divide people into categories. Like, if you're intelligent, then you must be very skinny and wear glasses and sit at your computer all day. And if you're very good looking and strong, then you must be stupid. But it's kind of ridiculous, because I know people who are strong and intelligent, and I know people who are skinny and unintelligent. So
it's probably about people psychology. When you see someone who is more successful than you in something, in order not to feel bad, you would find something there to lower their success down, rather than to push yourself to do as well as they do.
We call that putting someone down. So if you see that somebody's kind of maybe above you, you say something to put them down, like, "Oh yeah, but you're stupid," or something like that.
That might be pretty much it.
Probably, yeah. Pure and simple jealousy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so a few corrections then. 2.
There are.
Yes.
Oh.
If we use the noun weather, we need the
Drizzling.
adjective. Drizzling would be the continuous. So it is drizzling outside. The adjective is drizzly.
Drizzle, it's noun itself.
Yes, very fine rain. When we're talking about time, so a close perspective might be in space, like, go on.
Short.
The shorts.
In the short
term. In the short term, yes.
Perspective is about
physical. So like the camera is very close to the thing that's being photographed. So it's a closer perspective. All the time, not just right now.
I enjoy it.
Yes. Tend is a verb, so we can remove a word here.
People tend to choose.
Turn on is normally used for yeah, like physically moving something from the off to the on position.
Light?
I would say activated. Trying to think of a better word. Yeah, but activated works.
Step in.
Step in?
Yeah, we'll step in.
Yeah, that would be a different meaning because here it's kind of a passive, like the inspiration activates the willpower. But we could say your willpower will step in against your the lazier part of you. That would be active instead of passive, though. So we can remove a word here. If you have no, it's 0. If you have a, that would be 1.
Really? I have no particular answer. Wow.
Or you could also say, I don't have a particular answer. But no and a contradict each other because no is 0 and a is 1.
I see.
So we're going to put this on YouTube, so I'll be careful with my explanation of this.
It's like, yeah, I know. To feel yourself, meaning like feeling yourself.
So you are the subject and the object in this case. But you're not feeling yourself. Yeah, you just feel better.
It's another common Russian mistake,
very common,
which sounds very embarrassing for native speakers.
And sometimes I can be a bit more relaxed when I'm trying to explain it. Simple, what's the comparative of simple?
More simple?
No, we can say simpler.
Simpler.
Just without the I.
The I, yeah, simpler.
Yeah.
Simpler.
Compared.
Good. So present perfect. So I've never compared.
It's so easier to write these things.
Yes. It's much easier when you see it in black and white, isn't it? Yes. So we normally use famous to refer to people, or maybe the teams as well could be considered famous, like Real Madrid is a famous team. But when it's a football match, it's kind of...
18?
Say that again?
No, that's the bad one. Yes, I remember struggling to find here a good adjective here.
I'd say important.
Important,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the psychology, yes, good. So the psychology is a possession, it relates to the people. We spend time or money. What's the preposition?
On.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Similar?
I know the answer.
Go on.
Similar.
I'm similar to.
Yes.
To.
You started in the past, so...
Oh, that's just past, present simple, yeah. Since
past
we
simple.
started.
Yes. Because the moment you started living separate is over.
Yeah. The first part, past, present, perfect, and the second, since, and then past simple.
So it would be present perfect here if it was something which is still the case now. So since we've been living separately, because you're still living separately now, but the starting has finished, if that makes sense. Sounds strange to say it like that, but you started in the past. One completely different
theme. Yeah.
Good. Okay, this is that ah sound. So we don't say that, we say that.
That.
Good.
That.
Good. We don't say motivation, we say motivation.
Motivation.
Good. Gradual, that again, gradual.
Okay. Gradual. Gradual.
And the again, fact.
Fact.
Good.
Fact.
Match or match, football.
Match, yeah, the same sound again. Yeah. So it's match. For apple, not for elephant. And this one is preferable, not preferable. So we kind of swallow a bit of this part of the word. So preferable. Good.
Preferable.
Nikolai?
Preferable.
Good.
Preferable.
And the A kind of becomes silent here. So we don't say extraordinary, we say extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
Good. Sasha?
Extraordinary.
Good. Right, okay. Have you ever noticed any of these 7 benefits yourself? So I've certainly noticed my fat cells shrinking when I exercise a lot.
You know, the last fact was new for me, and I would contradict with Nikolai about no motivations from these articles. From these article, no. The last point is really new for me, and about the skin, actually, a new one for me. So,
have you noticed it? before in your life that your skin's better when you exercise?
No. Because I don't touch my sport and my not appearance, my physical thing, some physical things. I don't know why. Probably I believe that my pills help me to do that, to keep my skin well and so on. But yeah, and my answer would be about short exercises, which is number 5. Amazing, they're gonna count.
Oh yes.
Minutes. Yeah, short interval or 1 minute workout. Yeah, that was quite shocking.
Refresh you very quickly. Yeah. How long would be ideal for a workout, in your opinion?
Depending on the goal. If it's just to like a regular exercise, well, half an hour is like more than enough. Of course, if you're doing it regularly. Well, if you trying to be prepared for a 10 kilometers run, for example, then at some point you would need to have a training session for at least an hour or maybe more in order to run the whole distance. But yeah, it's especially seeing point number 5 in this article. It's up to you actually to find a good timetable for you. It works all the ways. You can do a very long, exhausting exercise training, like a couple days in a week, or you can do 20 minutes training every day, depending on how much time do you have.
Yeah, I find when I'm busy, I will just do 10 minutes in the morning or something, just so I've done something.
I believe that the key point is in consistency of these exercises. So if you keep doing 10-minute sessions and then you have a week break, so no, it doesn't work. I believe so. So consistency is the key.
The key, yeah. Not the how to say, not the how long does it take, but how frequently you're doing it.
Yeah, it's better to do 12 10-minute sessions than 1 2-hour session, then 11 days of nothing. Yeah.
And your body won't be like happy after that long exercise. After break.
Yes, it will protest. You won't be able to walk for 3 days. Do you work out when you feel ill?
I have a good example. A few days ago, I've got something. It wasn't a cold. It wasn't a flu. It was something interesting. I was tired all the time, and I decided to push myself for a workout. And when I finished it, I feel so much energy after that.
Oh, good.
And I would say, okay, that helped me to deal with my, I don't know, whatever was it, low energy. And so
slight depression.
Slight depression. Probably, it was like a body depression. Like, oh no.
I think exercise really helps with that kind of thing. But you have to be good at judging it, because sometimes exercise really helps. Other times, if it's a virus and you exercise, you're just making yourself sick for another 2 days. So you have to have good judgment.
Yeah. That's exactly my point. Sometimes it's very difficult to understand whether it's a whether your body telling you that it's not a good idea to exercise right now, or it's just laziness. And depending on how good you are, how self-critical you are, well, is a key to to understanding whether it's a laziness, just pure laziness, or that your body helps you to understand that not today, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. Because sometimes, paradoxically, the thing you don't feel like doing is what you should do, especially with things like a hangover. And the best thing to do is go out and do lots of exercise, I find, rather than sitting at home and
really
feeling it. Yeah. But then, as I said before, if you have a virus, it's not going to help to run 10 kilometers.
Well, sometimes I start running, for example, and while I'm running, I'm actively listening to my body, whether I'm good enough to continue. And if I started and then felt not very good, it's okay to stop and return back home and say, okay, I tried, not a good idea.
Yes, as long as you're not so stubborn that you insist that you have to finish, which is my problem. Why are some people so much more sporty than others?
Why are some people are more successful than others? Pretty much the same question.
Yeah, I think
some are doers, some are not.
So I think we just vary, don't we, as a species? So some people are very good at sport, have lots of energy. Other people, you can't get them to walk up the stairs.
Or maybe they just haven't found their sport, their activity. And there was another thing, and it's probably a very important thing. They haven't met a good example in their life. Somebody who can engage them. It can be a parent, it can be a friend, it can be somebody in Instagram.
For example.
A good example to follow is a good motivator. Somebody you really like and want to do you have in English like a jealousy is a bad word with bad connotation. Is there some kind of alternative word to be jealous for something but in a good way?
Yeah, so we can call this it's kind of what you're saying, to look up to somebody.
Yeah, look at somebody. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, sometimes to meet doesn't matter personally or via internet, somebody who you can look at, look up to.
So this is normally when a younger person looks up to someone who's older than them and copies them. But I think we can also use this for somebody who's doing something that you want to do as well. You use
so yeah, sometimes it's not a problem of that particular person. It's bad luck, maybe.
Yeah, a mixture of habit and genetics and inspiration and all kinds. Can people get addicted to exercise or do too much of it? Maybe some of us already are. What do you think, Sasha?
I believe that the last question has a tight connection with the previous one, because it's about all these factors. So motivation, inspiration, your genetic, and just probably, environment. Because for me, environment not controls, arrange your stuff, all other things, and it can help you. The environment can help you or disagree totally with your habits, with your inspirations, and you never go to do sport, never. And on the other hand, you might have you are able to have a not completely different environment, friends who will inspire you to do that, to try to do that, and then you will be addicted. You have a chance to be addicted.
So you're talking like addiction there is a good thing. But I mean those people who, even when they're injured, they have to go and work out, or even when they're sick.
Balance. That's about balance, and listen to yourself. That's I believe that this skill is a crucial skill for all of us, and all the time we will look for balance. I think so.
Okay, great.
Yeah, balance is a key.
What's the difference between exercise, uncountable, and an exercise, countable? So we use exercise uncountable for general exercise. So what we've been talking about today. Exercise is good.
Yeah.
An exercise is like a specific movement. So like a push-up, a pull-up, a burpee, a star jump, whatever is an exercise. Run here is the noun, so we need to actually use the adjective form of 10 kilometers. It's a very funny thing in English. It's the only time you would do this particular thing.
A 10-kilometer.
Yes. So why do we make 10 kilometers singular here? It's the only time we would ever make 10 kilometers singular.
That's just the rule.
Yes. Well, we can't make adjectives plural. So we would say a red car, 2 red cars. We wouldn't say red's cars. And it's the same when we use numbers. So 10 kilometers, a 10-kilometer run.
5-minute break.
Yes, exactly.
You have, just without doing.
Yes, so it's not a question.
That's the most difficult for me to remember about this pretty simple rule.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? We've all got a blind spot somewhere. And again, not a question.
How long it
takes.
And this is also, yes, not a question. And we can use ing because it might be in the moment that your body
tells you.
Yep, but we could use ing. If we used ing, we need to put a verb before it.
Is telling you?
Yes, good. What's the difference between self-critical and self-aware? They're kind of similar, but the connotation is different.
Connotation.
Yeah.
I guess the first one is negative.
Yes.
About negative connotation.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're self-critical, nothing you do is ever enough. You ran 10 kilometers, you should have run 20, whatever. Self-aware is, I think, what you were trying to say, which is knowing your own body. I wouldn't say that you meet an example. You meet a person.
Scene.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about a person and then changed my mind.
Do we say in Instagram?
Oh.
Yes.
No.
Oh, I thought you just
On,
said it. On Instagram, yes.
on Instagram.
What's the opposite verb to help? So somebody or something can help you, or harm? Yes. Although harm is when it damages you, but how about something that doesn't help? So for example, it might help to have a coffee before you run. Go on.
Stagnate.
No. But it would hinder you.
Easy.
Yeah, not easy, but it would hinder you to have a beer before you run. So, yeah, it helps you to have a coffee, it hinders you to have a beer. So it doesn't exactly harm you, but it does the opposite of helping you. It makes things more difficult for you. This is that short eh. So if we say these, it's the plural. So this. Good.
These and this.
Good. And that's flat ah again. Have. Good. Nicola?
Have.
Ha.
Have.
Good. And this is body. If we say buddy, it's like another way of saying friend. So body. Good.
Body and body.
And this one, happy.
Happy.
Ha.
Happy.
Good. Ha. Not happy. Happy. Good.
No, happy. Happy.
Your brain isn't ready to pronounce it.
So happy.